Welcome to Albion TV presents the AO Daily Show, your source of real news in an unreal world, keeping you up to date on the latest news, events, and the great community of Albion Online. Today is Friday, the 30th of August, and I am your host, Shozen, and with me today is my co-host, Bogul. How are you doing today, Bogul?
Good morning. I am doing good. Let's go. Let's start this show.
And what's on that show today, Bogul? What do we have for these lovely people? Do we have anything interesting, fun, or enjoyable?
Well, we do have a few reminders, a few PSAs, specifically about Invasion Day. We do have a community shout out to some donkey racing. And we have a fairly extensive war report to where we take a look at what has happened in the first month of Season 7.
It's been a good month. It's been an interesting month. And we'll talk about that month. Talk about the winners, the losers, mostly winners, because, you know, that's who we talk about here. Winners. I like winners.
All right. So
what's happening this weekend? Do we have Invasion Day this weekend? That's what the rumor is. I hear that
I think tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow at 18 UTC, the first round of the invasion goes live as all of the EU territories are claimable. And I'll be right there along with these guys, and I'll be showing as much action as I possibly can and as much combat as we find so that you guys who aren't necessarily involved in the invasion will get a chance to participate in your own special way by watching and enjoying yourselves without losing a bunch of gear, which is great.
Nice.
And then guess what, Bogle? A few hours later, it's later in the day. It's like a whole 6 hours later, I believe. At 7 hours later, my bad. 7. It's like at 1 UTC, which is the middle of the night for guys like Lupac. But you know who it's perfect for?
The Americans.
The Americans, yes. The people who live on the other hemisphere, the Western hemisphere. So the Brazilians, the Canadians, the Mexicans, they all get to join in with the Americans because the whole thing is America. Did you know that there's 2 continents that are America? 2 entire continents. It's crazy.
I was always bad at geography. Something like this, yeah.
That's why they sent you to China. And he said, "Where can I get a job?" And they said, China.
Wait, that wasn't America?
The land of the free. Yes, China.
Yes.
All right, so we do have that reminder for you guys, and I hope you enjoy that one and show up with me and Lupac. We will be here pretty much all day having a great time showing these invasions, and we do enjoy them so much.
Also, don't forget to set your correct portal binding, as this is going to be disabled for that event. And then you can't teleport to the one that you desire anymore. So make sure to ask your guild officer which one you will need for this very reset day. No, invasion day. And then everybody will be happy if everybody is prepared a little bit ahead of time.
Yeah, don't show up 5 minutes beforehand and go, okay, I need sets, I need food, I need energy. Anybody got some potions? What levels of gear should I bring? And by the way, where should I be bound to? That will get you on the wrong kind of list.
We also have a what is this update? Well, information reminder thingy that beginning with this Saturday's territory reset, castles and castle outposts will now score their guild season points at 0, 1 UTC and 20 UTC, as announced by Prince Caspian on the forums about 7 hours ago. This change, as you recall, was supposed to go in, I think, 2 weeks ago, but it didn't, and then they just left it. Yeah. So this will be when the castle scoring begins 2 days after reset. So effective first day of this change will be Monday, September 2nd. Yeah. And that's when this is finally going to happen.
That's gonna happen. It's going, guys. I know we've talked about this before, But this time, we mean it.
Yes. Okay. That's it for the official news, official reminders. We will see everybody tomorrow. So if there's any official stuff coming up until then, you guys surely can talk about it. But today we do have a community shout out for you all. Specifically, we were asked by the great Pharaoh SC of I think he's from Sumos, if I remember correctly. But they are doing a little bit of a event. He says that they will be doing it this Saturday after the reset day at 18 UTC on their Thetford racetrack. They are doing some sort of party event, donkey racing thing.
A donkey racing thing.
Yeah, and you can either on foot or on a donkey race around a specifically designed racetrack on a guild island. That event should be fun. And there is a thread on the Reddits too, and there's also a little write-up on Albion News 24 if you want to know more about it.
I gotta tell you,
they also have a Discord.
I want to watch this video. I almost want to watch the video, Bogul. That's how interested in donkey racing I am. I'm like, is there any way I can drive around my donkey now? They're using
if
mules,
if you disable the sound, you can show it in the background. It's safe for Twitch.
Okay,
it looks like.
All right, we'll throw that on the background then.
Okay. Yeah, I remember these fun events when you were just gathering on the guild island and doing some stupid, very entertaining stuff, of course. And we've seen a bunch of these events in the past where people try to go from one zone to the other, avoiding gankers and things like this. And you can see it now on stream, where they are doing it.
Look at this lovely. That's a donkey race. It really is a donkey race. Okay. I'm just distracted, Bogul. Now you've gotten me. This is why we can't have nice things. You put a nice thing out there, it's shiny, it's interesting, and I get distracted, and I only watch the donkey races. I'm like, ooh, donkey races.
I mean, he's like a safety car and a rhino. That's funny. But it looks like they will have a version for this reset day, and I think they're looking to make this a regular thing, and of course do on the side some advertising for their own guild. So why not? Shout out to these guys.
Yeah, why not? Hey, I like it when anybody does anything interesting. I have spent numerous hours paying attention to the silliness that is conflict. I can watch some donkey races occasionally, but I will not be here. I will not be here on Sunday.
I just read their announcement, and it's on Sunday, 1st of September, 18 UTC. Sunday, 1st of September, 18 UTC.
Yeah, okay. Fun stealer. This is why we can't have nice things. Shaking my head.
What?
Moving on. Don't read guild chat. It's never good.
Guild chat.
Or not guild chat. What are we on Twitch chat? I don't even know. We're not even
same
in the
thing
same
by now.
Like, well, no, I've left that guild. I've been kicked out of conflict. They didn't like that I only showed up to claim prizes at the end of the season instead of showing up to war camps. But speaking of war camps, Bogul, should we talk about what's happened in the war so far this season and how
a lot has happened, right?
Yeah.
I mean, where to begin, Shozen? What are we going to talk about in this show? What are you doing?
I'm following some guy around the world, apparently.
Oh, I meant in the next 20 minutes.
Oh, what am I doing now? I'm going to be talking about the number of victories and losses that the top guilds have had so far this season and what their win percentages are, loss percentages, that kind of thing, how they do in crystals and stuff. And, just a little bit more about the behind the numbers, because these aren't numbers that you guys can get right there on the kill board, right? These are numbers that I had to find myself and do math with. And I feel Like
You did
I
math?
I,
All right.
mhm.
Okay.
I used the calculator though, Bogle. Let's be clear here. I did use a calculator to figure this stuff out because wow, there's a lot of math involved. Simple addition,
Okay.
subtractions, numbers everywhere, lost all over the kill boards. Maybe if we all get on like petition.org and we all write, we would like a new kill board, one that gives useful information, perhaps one tied to a map that also perhaps gives what, Bogle?
Useful information. Perhaps,
Perhaps
maybe even just
we
a
would.
sort of API that doesn't allow for real-time tracking, just current ownership of who owns what plot, and yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
But let's talk about some of these guilds because, I want to talk about some of the ones that stood out to me. These guys did a lot of work. We're going to talk specifically about the money guilds and the Junes and some of the other big winners of this season. But I want to get up all the numbers on the screen for people at once. So we have the season rankings, which show, of course, Money Guild out in first by 30,000 points. June ahead of Black Order by 10,000. But Black Order coming back, actually. Kind of impressed that they, maybe we shamed them into showing up. And a little bit of the phrasing. And, who doesn't show up on this list, and I didn't get their numbers, was Aggressor, who's ranked 5th so far in season points. But you know what? They didn't have a lot of GVG or crystal activity, so I didn't end up picking them. This is like the 13, I think, or so guilds with the most activity when you combine crystals and standard GVGs. And what stands out most to me is how incredibly even the crystal win rate is for a lot of these guilds. They're all between about, high 40s to I think the top that we had was vastly superior at 62%, though they don't GVG as much as crystal GVG as some of the other guys. Like you have Money Guild who had almost 200 crystal GVGs, went 50-50.
Wow.
That's not bad at all. Their regular GVG though, their win percentage on that is incredible at 75%.
Wow.
That's a really good win rate. Them in June have stepped out and really done work because yes, you can see that Phrasing is also in the 70s for win rate with GVGs, but Phrasing had 30 GVGs. Money Guild had 160 and still went 75% on those GVGs.
Wow.
Like,
I mean, the world map sort of shows, right? If you look around, there's a lot of Money Guild flags out there. There's a lot of June or Daddy Alliance flags around. That's what you get for winning these. I mean, but when you showed me these numbers, when I saw the pure amount there, we sort of mentioned it already, I think, at the beginning of the week, but just the amount of GVGs that is over the last month, that is an incredible number and far outmatches, third and fourth and almost all other guilds by like a factor of 2 or 3.
If you take the combined crystals and GVGs for Money Guild and June, June is looking at 361 combined matches. That's incredible. That's a huge number of GVGs to participate in a day. That is, what was it? It was 12.9 a day between the two over the course of a month. That's 4 weeks. They've been maintaining this pace. Money Guild is right behind them with 353 and a 12.6 GVGs per day. And both those guilds, like Money Guild at 75% and June at 80% for the regular GVGs, like their standard GVGs to get territory. That's incredible. That's above everybody else in just a way that is hard to really fathom. When you look at Guerrero's, U12 Academy, Arrow 404, Launchpad, KFC, these are the guys who come in next, and they start at 150 for Guerrero's. combined GVGs. U12 Academy 141 combined GVGs. Arrow 404 137. Like, you can tell nobody's even close. Nobody's even close to these guys in the combined amount of GVGs that they do.
I mean, it obviously looks like we have our top two competitors for the season. And then the question is how the rest of the girls will duke it out for third place. It almost feels like at this point.
Yeah.
The race for first, of course, is going to be an interesting thing that needs a lot of more stamina over the next 2 months. And it's not over yet between Money Guild and June. Money Guild does have a good lead, but this is an incredible pace to keep up for both parties.
Yeah.
And
one of the things I wanted to say about this is that when you start looking at some of these guilds, we're seeing it in chat. Somebody said, well, no territories, no GVGs. Guy, it didn't correlate that strongly between the number of territories owned and the number of GVGs done. You can look at, like, for example, phrasing. Okay? People always talk about how phrasing manages to have so much all the time while still managing to do so little. And I hate saying that because it sounds really condescending, but phrasing does do a lot of work. Let's be really clear. Phrasing does do a lot of work. They have a lot of territory. They've managed to make a lot of waves, but they do it by somehow just maintaining a standard level of activity. And they don't have to do a lot of GVGs. Yes, they did quite a few crystals with, 68 crystals done. That's not It's not a small amount. It's not one of our larger amounts, but they do work their way into the top with still,
I mean, if you have these
combined.
If you have a few plots and then you keep utilizing the GVG, the crystal GVG slots in them, that's also working sort of as intended. I mean, of course, Money Guild and June just have too many territories. But they also can't fill them all, right? They're trying, but they can't fill them all. Yeah. Anything else about these numbers there? I mean, we see most of their win rates in the crystals being above 50% or close to 50.
Yeah, for the top guilds, yeah, they've mostly gotten themselves over 50% with, like I said, there's a couple of them that stick out as a little bit better, vastly superior. They've done very good in their crystals, 62%, and I gotta give props to both Launchpad and June as well for 61 and 59%. June really deserves some massive credit because they're doing as many Crystal Realms. They're doing the most Crystal Realm GVGs. The most, period. That's like more than, Money Guild, who, everybody knows does a lot. They have the most territories. They should be doing a lot. But Money Guild is, hovering around 50%. June's hovering around 60%. And that's... What you know is how hard it is to be 60% in crystals. It's making you face other teams that are just as good as you, and so it's hard to stay at a high ranking. Yeah.
Do the no-shows count for this win percentage?
Yes.
So
yes, I counted no-shows in here.
If you have a match and you don't go in, you get a loss. Does that count as for your win percentage here?
Well, if you get a free win because the other team doesn't show, it counts as a win, and if you get a loss because you didn't show, then yeah, it shows. It's like I counted all the matches that you showed up for in the stats. What we did was we parsed the kill board, and we got data for the entire month, and then put it into a spreadsheet, and then combed that spreadsheet for interesting data so that we could bring you guys something that's a little bit deeper than what you're going to get on the kill board itself. Because, yeah, you can see how many wins somebody has gotten by looking at the kill board. But it gives you nothing to measure it by. It's just freaking a win number. Oh, they got so many wins. Good. And? Okay, did they have just that many matches? Did they win every one of their matches? I don't know.
Yeah.
It
We need a better kill board. We need some
a
better
better
map
kill board, a
APIs.
better map, and
Let's
oh
put
my
that on the
god,
backlog. How
I
about that?
I would pay $10 right now to a Patreon account and say, make me a better map. Like I'd do that. I would like maybe
Maybe you should.
you know what I
We should
want?
start a GoFundMe for like Albion API or
Even
something.
better, custom skins, just like they have in the rest of the game. Custom map skin, one that works, and you'd have to buy that with gold. I'm all for it. I don't care, whatever it is, whatever rationale they want to use to make the map in the game better. I'm all for it, because God, oh,
But enough complaining about the map. We do
is
have a
it
few
really
more
really
stats.
enough complaining about? Can we continue
No,
for a little
it
bit
isn't.
longer?
No.
Okay, Bogle says no more.
Yeah. Because I wanted to briefly give a little bit of a overview about the current map that we see prior to Invasion Day tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember, we did this Invasion Day Fallout show at I think Monday or Tuesday after the first Invasion Day of the season. And I took notes at that time,
Yeah.
and I updated these notes, and I kind of want to go through continent by continent and see what has changed since that day. And if you want to follow along on the
Yeah,
map on
I guess
stream,
I
then
got to
you
go
can
over to
do it.
Mercia. We're gonna start with Mercia first, do you?
Yeah. And then I'm just going to do like 3 or 4 points per continent as
Sounds
to
good.
who owns what, mostly alliances.
That'll give us
And then
some
we can,
like a baseline for next time too, because we'll say this is what we saw on the map next time, and we can look back on this point in the future and say, look what happened over time, Bogle.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So again, the first thing I will say is what I observed at the end of, or at the beginning of this month, rather. So after the last invasion, and the second thing I will say is whether or not that changed. So for Mercia, we saw Oops owning the south of Mercia, and that seems to be still the case. We also saw Squad holding a few territories in the north and the west. And this is still the fact, a little bit less, with conflict still holding onto Sunlit Grove and I think 2 or 3 towers around that. We also saw 1PG holding a few territories in the east, and by now they have expanded slightly, but they still have that little area there in the east. We also saw Shelty holding a few territories in the far west, and they still have Mulet Grove. But Shelty is in 1PG now, where they weren't before.
Yeah, I believe they have live is what they're called. That's their
Life.
life. Yeah. Okay, life, live. Yeah, sure. Yeah, but that's what they've changed their
Living
name
is
to.
not for everyone. Yeah. Yes, you're right. Yeah. Okay.
Cumbria.
Then we do have Cumbria with Oops holding the far east, and now they also hold all of the southwest, south, and southeast, and that is divided between Daddy Alliance Aggressor and Oops, who is here represented by Sema Metatron, with Money Guild actually dividing these two in terms of ownership. We last reset we saw BMATs holding the south and the center of Cumbria, but now BMATs, I think that was Aggressor's Alliance.
Yeah,
they
joined
just
Daddy
Alliance, so it's more or less the same as previously. We also saw Mount holding a few towers in, I think, the east of Cumbria.
They still do.
They still do hold a few towers around Hazelwood and Fecund Mount, but Broke Boys is no longer in Mount. They are in Anglia Gang, Phono 1 now.
Didn't they start Mount?
I think they did.
I think they did. Okay. They must have had an emotional moment and had to emotionally move on.
Well, that's what you have to do sometimes. Yeah. Let's move on to Anglia. We saw Ego holding the northeast. That's still the same. We saw NASA, the KFC Alliance, holding the southeast. That's also still the same. We saw Dawn holding the former Articulo Mortis territory. That's also more or less fairly similar, but Black Order putting their foot in the door there and taking a few territories away from them. We also last reset saw Saws holding the center in the north of Anglia. That is more or less again fairly similar, but with the difference that Brave Vanguard having seats Scatterwell in the southwest, and the some Phono guys, the Anglia gang, having Spur Pound with Blackout and Stillpoint Mound owned by Broke Boys.
I'm just amazed by how much stuff that Sauce has currently. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah, especially if you look at Glauvia, Gluvia, they hold all of the center in the west. That is still the same as during last reset. We also saw the southeast last reset for Glauvia being held by Squad.
Why?
But that completely swapped over to Anglia Gang. Specifically, Blackout is holding a lot of the southeast in Gluvia. A small area in the west was held by Epic's Alliance, but I couldn't find them anymore in Gluvia. But Russian Guild, Chaos, and I think one more, I didn't write it down, hold home plots there as well. And the north of Gluvia is shared was shared between Win and Squad. And this now Sauce took over.
It's just everything. A sauce-filled mess there.
Yeah. And some parts of the northeast are being held by Daddy Alliance. And then, as the last continent today, we saw Siluria, with the northwest being held by a former Win Alliance that is now just called Daddy Alliance, so it's more or less the same area.
Well, Win isn't Daddy.
Yeah,
Win is still like CIR.
It was a June Alliance.
Like,
right?
Yeah, June was like heading up Win, like because they were the most effective guild in Win. But then they created the Daddy Alliance, and that's very separate from Win, which was headed up by CIR.
Okay, now I don't remember whether or not June was holding these territories in Siluria at that time, because if that was the case, then the situation is the same. But if they switched alliance and then conquered that area,
I think they switched, and then they conquered not only the area, but they conquered a lot of other stuff around it as well. They didn't have this much territory up here before. They've taken a lot of Afghanistan. They've taken some of the stuff from Money Guild. Well, I'm sorry. There was Aggressor up here, but Aggressor has made a full push to swap from up here in like Siluria down to Cumbria. So there's been some changes in these areas, and now June they're dominating this area. Let's see how much of this is. It's all just June. As I switch over to the guild view, we see that this is straight June.
I mean,
here we go. Vastly Superior has some shit. Good job, Vastly Superior. I hear only good guilds are allowed in Daddy.
To finish my notes, I saw that Conflict holds on to that Willowdale home plot there. That Oops also has a few areas in the south of Siluria, but the previous major landholder in the east, the Arch Alliance, got fairly, how do you say this, shrunken in their ownership.
Whooped up on.
Whooped up on. Yeah. When they lost a bunch of territories to Daddy in the north and Oops in the south. But Arch is still here. Arch still has area way longer than I expected. And even into the second month of Season 7. Great.
Oh my God. Fun Stealer of Conflict says he lost all of Siluria to June in a single day. They had 9 fights. I remember that day. I completely forgot about how many fights you guys had lost. That's ridiculous.
That must have been a bad day for Conflict.
Bad day for Conflict. Is Conflict on their way to Crystal rank this season? They have that bar graph. I'm asking Fun Stealer because they have that bar graph, and I'd like to know, without looking, for the bar graph.
I will find it.
Okay, you find the bar graph. I'm gonna say it's time to effing chat, guys.
They're below pace.
Well, that's what you get. They're below pace. That's what you get. They're playing e-dating games or something. I don't know. Speaking of e-dating, I think we all need to effing chat for that which was lost this week. I believe some hearts were broken, some dreams were shattered, some network cords will go and never be plugged into anything. There will be sheets that never become stained, and wow. I mean, there's so much we could say, but basically, e-dating is a sin, guys, and if you do it, be prepared to have your heart broken. It's a dangerous game. It's the most dangerous game. It's more dangerous than Albion. I mean, like, in Albion, like, what's the worst thing you could lose? Like, say you lose a mammoth. You lose the mammoth, you down a mammoth, it's 100 mil. It's a lot. You e-date,
but
you could lose an apartment.
You might be down 100 mil real life monies.
Yeah, well, I don't think any of these guys have 100 mils real life money.
Well, I guess, yeah.
Oh, Fun Stealer sent me the picture. Oh, I can put the picture on screen for everybody. Everybody can see. Starseed is a great GM. He's not my GM anymore because he kicked me. Probably because he's a good GM and he knows that I'm just not pulling my weight. But you can see here, BA not gonna make it right now. BA not doing so good. There's some far off from Crystal right here. I joined BA a day late. I'm not getting my prize anyway, so this doesn't bother me. Conflict below the line, and it looks like at one point they were above the line. Now below the line. Maiden BR? Come on, guys. You can do this. You guys got this. Come on. You can make this. If AW Gaming can get it, why can't Maiden BR?
I don't.
Well done, June. Good job, June. June, you're doing good. Money Guild, I'll keep saying you're doing a good job. Why? Because it's true. But you are. You're doing a damn fine job. It's the only thing you do good.
I think that's what I have today.
That's
for
it?
This show, Shozen.
We had one person who died.
Yeah, but that wasn't super exciting. I mean, we can mention it because it was
because
the
we gotta
largest.
F it in chat. I mean, the one thing we really all need to F in chat is like the idea of how bad e-dating is for you. Pay some respects to that which was lost. I mean, come on, the amount of respect that was destroyed in one weekend was huge. Let's see what happened.
I try to keep out of this drama.
You shouldn't. It's so much good.
No, I don't enjoy these particular.
This is the best one we had?
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed to show this.
5 million, 5.1 million Young G of squad ganking the DTK8 guy of Make Albion Great Again guild. Yeah. Where he loses an 8.1 set and an 8.3 Crowkeeper. And that's it.
That
only
happens.
5 mil.
It happens. But that's just the outfit. That's just the outfit cost that. That's just that's what he's wearing.
Well, shout out to you guys. Shout out to Young G and to Blue Army together with Tony Moog, who or Young G and Tony Moog, who I think Tony did a lot of PvP fame this month. I think that's another shout out.
Bogul.
From the leaderboards. Yeah.
Did Vasort die this week with 8.3 claws. Would that show up on the list there?
I don't think it was this week. I mean, I saw, I remember that somebody linked us the kill there. That was last week. This one.
A little story about Youngji in chat right now. Sabotage420 says, Youngji disbanded a faction party we were in when I got knocked down once. He flagged up and executed me and stole my blazing staff. I will never forgive him. Good story. I like it.
Wow.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. And on that note, I think we're going to hop out of here. Bogul, are we going to come back for the overtime show at all today?
Up to you.
All right, let's do like a 5-10 minute overtime show today. Just a real quick one. All right, we'll be back in 2 minutes. So, yeah, guys, you can check out this show Monday through Friday at 18 UTC. And Tuesday through Thursday, we do a full 3-hour long event where we cover live crystals and live GVGs at 20 UTC after the news program. So you can check those out as well. Our shows generally get uploaded to SoundCloud when my computer is working, which it shall be in the future. This week, if you guys have been wondering, there have been no podcasts. I will get them all up over the weekend for you. Sometime probably between the different invasions, which of course happens tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow at 17:30 UTC for the first of the 2 invasions, the EU invasion, which will be me and Lupak having a good time watching people run each other over in giant ZVZs. And then again at 12:30 UTC, we will once again be back with the NA portion of the invasion day. It's gonna be good stuff. I'm looking forward to it. But we're gonna kick out of here now. We'll be back in 2 minutes with overtime. So until next time, guys, stay classy, Albion.